G-Man Boxing. Do you know what I mean? Every single live he donates. I see him on other lives donating. He's got the bag on it.
Alright people, quick bit of news here on Canelo Alvarez. This has just been broke by Dan Rafael the last few hours. It's being reported that Canelo Alvarez has now been given another offer from PBC. As you may recall, about a week or fortnight ago, it was a one-fight deal being reported from PBC to fight Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo. I think it was to the value of about 45 million. And it was a two-fight deal with Eddie Hearn and Dazn, Dimitri Bivol, followed by Triple G. What's now being reported that this has actually been moved, it's been increased to a two-fight deal with PBC Haymon. Offer is Jamal Charlo in May, followed by David Benavidez on Mexican Clash in September. Eddie Hearn's offer of Bivol and Golovkin is still there. Both deals are reported to be near the $100 million figure. So quite a substantial amount of money for Canelo Alvarez for two fights. Now it's being reported as well by Mike Coppinger, has actually chimed in on this, and he said that Alvarez has reportedly rejected the two-fight deal with PBC to fight Charlo and then Benavidez. He said it says he's focused on completing the two-fight deal with Eddie Hearn for Dimitri Bivol and then Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Now obviously Triple G has a fight coming up, trying to get it done in April in Japan against Murata. We don't know how that might go. That could be potential banana skin for Triple G. I mean, he'll be 40 by then, although Murata's been out of the ring since 2019, so a long time. Good long time. If I could pick out of those four names, the two fights I'd like for Canelo, it would be Dimitri Bivol and Dave Benavidez in an ideal universe. One's with Dazn, one's with PBC. It ain't gonna happen in that way because of just neither guy is gonna get a one fight deal. So it looks likely that we're gonna get Canelo versus Bivol, and Triple G obviously. And to me, that deal makes more sense. It does if you're Canelo from a point of view of gaining. So if you look at it like this, right? If he had taken the PB, and he may very well yet, but it seems unlikely at this stage. If he'd taken the PBC deal, now from what I've heard is that Charlo, because remember he got himself into a spot of bother in the last week. Apparently that's all good now. Charlo against Canelo, pick Canelo very heavily. I pick him very heavily over Jamal Charlo. However, him against Benavidez, extremely entertaining fight. Extremely good prospect that fight is. That's a fight I'd love to see. It's a fight I would pick Canelo, but Benavidez is the guy at 168 pounds who you give him a best chance, certainly at that weight. In terms of the DAZN deal, Bivol, again, at 175 pounds, Canelo was gaining a WBA title, which would, if Joe Smith Jr. and Artur Beterbiev are set to have a unification, it would make undisputed very easy. It'd make it basically a fight in 2023, because obviously he's going to fight Triple G towards the back end of the year probably. But it would make undisputed at 175 all the more easy. And considering the fact that Canelo's not being locked into anybody, he could easily go and fight on ESPN the winner of Joe Smith Jr. versus Artur Beterbiev, providing he gets past Dimitri Bivol. Now, Dimitri Bivol, stylistically, is going to cause Canelo fits. The movement, the judge of distance, the footwork. Canelo, although he is a massively improved fighter than the fighter we saw against Erislandy Lara, we'll say, or even Amir Khan to an extent. I know he won that devastatingly, but early on he was bothered by the speed and the movement of Amir Khan. Against Bivol, stylistically, Bivol is going to cause Canelo problems. That is a fight that I would imagine will go the distance. Now, I know people have been saying about Bivol, but he's not looked amazing as of late. He looked good in his last fight. Now, I have to say he did. The fight prior to that was against Craig Richards, and I think a lot of it was to do with the inactivity. Bivol hadn't fought since 2019 at the time, so he did look a bit sloppy in that fight, it has to be said. But when you look at the skill set of Dimitri Bivol and you look at what he does well, he has the potential to cause Canelo fits. In terms of the Triple G fight, again, I would just take that fight for what it is. 2017, 2018, yes, we had a much better Triple G. And the second fight I gave to Canelo, the first fight, Triple G, definitely. I know it's not going to be like that now. I know Triple G is getting on there in age. He's 40 years old in April. And I know it's not going to be what it was. As I said, Chris Andre's analogy of going and meeting a 40-year-old on holidays and then meeting her 20 years later, again, that's kind of pretty much sums it up, how this fight is. I'll take it for what it is. I'm not going to go and think it's going to be like the first two. I'm going to favour Canelo heavily. What I mean by when I say the Dazn deal, he's more to gain. As I've just stated about Dimitri Bivol, if he gets through him, he's got a world title now at light heavyweight, and it makes it easier to make an undisputed fight next year with the winner of the unification between Smith and Beterbiev. Also, I would imagine that the Triple G fight, would they pull the trigger and do it on pay-per-view Dazn? They might very well do, you know that. And I wonder how much he'd probably make more money fighting Triple G, even if they're saying it's going to be in around the kind of $100 million mark. You probably make more money just off revenue from the Triple G trilogy than you would off the other two fights at PPC. So I would imagine probably financially it's a no-brainer. And in terms of, because again, you got to think of it like this, right? Bivol is a risk. There is something to it. You'll get your WBA title. You'll get your title at light heavyweight. Although he's already been a champion at light heavyweight, but he'll get another one at light heavyweight. Whereas fighting someone like Charlo, I think, straightforward enough win for Canelo. Charlo is a good fighter, but I think Canelo was just a level above him. Whereas Benavidez, you don't gain anything. And it's a very tough fight. It's a very tough fight for Canelo. You're not gaining anything. You could say about Bivol to an extent. You are gaining a title, but he's not a massive name, and I think that's going to play against Dimitri Bivol. I mean, I think with him, potentially you may see some shenanigans on the scorecards if it's a particularly close fight. And what I mean by that is we could see Canelo getting a runaway victory in a fight that's competitive and close and could go either way. We've seen that in the past. Austin Trout kind of springs to mind, a very close fight that was scored bizarrely wide for Canelo, and the 118-110 scorecard in the first Triple G fight, that was a head scratcher. I don't know what Adelaide Bird was watching. So that's kind of the situation on Canelo. As I said, the Dazn deal, like ideal world, one fight deal with Dazn, Dimitri Bivol, one fight deal PBC, Dave Benavidez, ain't gonna happen. I know that, but that would be ideal if it could happen, and I can't see it. So yeah, looks like we're going to get Canelo versus Bivol in May. Still a good fight. Some people asked me prior, Makabu, I think that fight's done, it's dead. It's certainly for the time being. Maybe if Makabu was still champion in a year's time, maybe. But I think for now, it's that fight's dead in the water. I can't see it happening, and I wonder if a lot has to do with Don King, because Don King is, we know what he's like, and I'm sure Canelo doesn't even want to have the deal with Don King, even as the fighter with a different promotional crowd. Even as I'm sure Canelo doesn't want to deal with that, because Don King is an absolute scumbag of the highest order. So I reckon that might be a reason why. And the Makabu fight, I would say very unlikely we'll see that. In fact, I don't think we'll see it this year. Next year, if he's still champion, yeah, possibly. I wouldn't rule it out. Possibly wouldn't completely rule it out next year, but this year, can't see it. That's my thoughts on this. Let me know in the comment section what deal you feel is preferable for Canelo, which one you would go for if you were managing him or advising him. Let me know in the comment section. In terms of the fights, which one would you like the most? Benavidez to me is most entertaining. Bivol fight is the one that I'm most intrigued at, because I think he can cause Canelo absolute fits. The other two, Charlo, I pick Canelo quite comfortably in Triple G. As I said, take it for what it is. I'm not expecting Triple G to be the Triple G of 2017. I'm expecting to be the Triple G of now, the 40-year-old Triple G. That's what I'm expecting. So I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could, lads and lassies, hit the like button. It does help your boy out. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting nearly a 6.5k. So we're getting there. We're near 7k, 10k by the end of the year. Let's do it. For now, lads and lassies, I'll talk to you. Peace.